Have you ever heard that eating mushrooms every day will help keep your brain okay? Probably not, because I just made it up. But there's some truth to that. Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory issues, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a public school teacher for over 30 years, I found that it helps to not only teach people how to do something, but also why they're doing it. And so as kids, we heard people tell us that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We heard people tell us that if you eat your carrots, it'll help your eyes so that you can see better. And my mom even told me that if you ate the burnt toast, your teeth would get whiter. Now, there's an element of truth in all of that, I'm sure. And what's exciting to me is that now researchers are proving that eating mushrooms will definitely benefit your brain. So that is so exciting. Did you catch my last video? I had a video a few days ago that talked about mushrooms and how they were a superfood and all the good things that would happen if you eat mushrooms. So if you haven't seen that, you can check that out on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, Keep Your Brain Sharp, and you can see what that's about. But today, I want to talk specifically about what kind of mushrooms you should be eating. So, okay, let's be clear. When I say mushrooms, I am talking about edible cooked mushrooms. That's what I'm talking about. Did you know there's over 14,000 species of mushrooms, and not all mushrooms are the same, and you do not want to eat all mushrooms. And so that's what we're talking about today. Of those 14,000 species, there's still about 10,000 that are edible. So that's a lot of edible mushrooms. In that group, we have the wild mushrooms that are growing out in the wild, growing outdoors on their own, at the base of trees and all those kind of things. And then we have what's called cultivated mushrooms. And those mushrooms are mushrooms that are grown on the farm and sold in the stores and in the markets. Okay. And those are what we're talking about when we say edible mushrooms. Those that you find in the store, because it's illegal to sell any other kind of mushroom. It has to be labeled as an edible mushroom to be in store. So if you find it in the store, it is a safe mushroom for you to eat. Okay. So actually there's 5 groups of mushrooms. Like I said, we have the wild mushrooms that are out there. And trust me, you do not want to be going out there hunting for mushrooms and picking your own mushrooms unless you are experienced and knowledgeable, unless you know what you're doing. Because a lot of those mushrooms out there are poisonous, and a lot of them look like the mushrooms in the store. And so you can get tricked, you can get fooled because you think you know what that is, and you pick that up and eat that, and it's not what you thought it was. It's a different version, and this version is poisonous. So you need to know what you're doing, what to look for. Do not go out there hunting for mushrooms. Get your mushrooms at the store or at the markets, okay? That's what you get your mushrooms on. So we have the wild ones, and we have the edible ones. Those are the ones that you want to get. And like I said, those are on farms cultivated and put there. Within the edible group are medicinal mushrooms. They are also technically edible because you're going to be taking them, okay? So they're medicinal, they're edible. People don't usually eat them as mushrooms because they're a challenge to eat. Either they're too tough or they're bitter or whatever the deal is. They don't want to eat them. So they usually use those in teas, or they powder them and put them in capsules. So that's what you're going to see mostly with your medicinal mushrooms. So we have the wild ones, which you don't want to be trying to go out there and get. You have the edible ones, which includes the medicinal ones. And then you also have the magic mushrooms. That's another place you don't want to go because they actually have a drug in them that's psychedelic, which is like some kind of form similar to, they said, LSD. Is going to take you on a trip that you don't want to go on. Okay, so you do not want to be messing with, they call them magic mushrooms or psychoactive or psychedelic mushrooms. You don't want to mess with that. And you're not going to find that in the grocery store anyway. So don't go looking for it. Okay, because that's not what you want. All right. And then the last group is what they call useful mushrooms. Useful mushrooms are used to help improve our environment. And I thought that was pretty interesting because they said they actually have mushrooms that can break down different contaminants and different oils, that's been gotten in our environment. Also, it can be used to improve compost. And they said they're also putting it in other inventions as we speak, like in packaging and all this kind of stuff. They had different things that they were doing with mushrooms. And those are called useful mushrooms. So those are the kind of mushrooms that you want. And you're going to concentrate for brain health. You're concentrating on the edible and medicinal mushrooms. Okay. So the other condition besides being edible was being cooked. And a few years ago, I was surprised that that was a condition because I used to get raw mushrooms and slice them up and put them in salads all the time. And that's what I would see and still do see when you go to salad bars and different restaurants and stuff. They usually have one of the selections, one of the choices would be sliced button mushrooms. Now, they did say that the button mushrooms only have traces of toxins in them, but all mushrooms will have toxins and they are accumulative, just like all toxins are. So my deal is, even though there's only traces in the button mushrooms they use in the salad bars and stuff like that, you don't want that mess accumulating in you because some toxins stay in your body for years. And so if you know that it has a toxin in it, why don't you just go ahead and cook it, okay? So cooked mushrooms are what is recommended, all right? And there's lots of things that you can do with them. The most popular ways of cooking them are stir fry and grilling them. But there's so many things. I just got crazy with it. There's so many things you can do with mushrooms that can put them in a variety of different things. The sky's the limit. The dishes and things you can make once you get in a habit of incorporating mushrooms into your diet, which is what I hope that if you're not already doing, that you're going to start doing. And if you're not doing enough of it, that you do more, okay? Because they are very, very, very good for your brain. Edible, cooked. And there is a variety of them. So you don't have to get, just the common button mushroom, which is, the little white mushroom, which is the most common that people get, but there's all different kinds. So it's pretty exciting. Okay. And guess what? The other thing is you can grow your own mushrooms. Now, let me tell the truth and shame the devil. I haven't done it. I haven't grown my own mushrooms. I'm not there yet, but I might, because they said you have kits you can buy. Just like making your own sourdough bread and stuff like that. They have kits you can buy to grow different kinds of mushrooms, either indoors or outdoors. I think I would go with the indoor kind, and I think they said that is easier because then you don't have to deal with temperature changes and weather and stuff, but you can get a kit. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So do you? If that's exciting you might want to check that out and grow your own mushrooms. But if not, that they're at the store and you can get the variety of them there. So I am, as you can tell, I am a little bit excited about it, and I've decided to put together a mini course about mushrooms. It's going to be my mushroom mini course, and it's not together yet, but I thought I'd tell you about it while I was talking about mushrooms on this video, because hopefully I'll have it together in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to create a waiting list. So it's an early bird notification list. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm going to do, then you can click on that link and register for the early bird notice. And when I get it together, I'll send you it and you can see what it's all about. Okay? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a different kind of mushrooms that you can eat, more than just the button mushroom. Okay. More than just button and portobello. So there's different kinds. Also, I am going to include different ways of storing and preserving them, because that was the thing with me. When I buy mushrooms, I didn't know exactly how much to buy, so I usually would get too much and they would go to waste. They would spoil and they'd go to waste, and I just felt that I wasted my money, so I was hesitant sometimes to get them because I didn't want to waste my money. But I found out there are several different ways of storing them and preserving them so you don't waste your money, and that's not an excuse, and you'll have them when you need them. So I'm going to include that there. I'm going to include the different kinds of mushrooms, how you store them, and then a variety of ways you can use them for snacks, for side dishes, for meals. It's gonna be great, guys. I am excited, as you can tell. So if you're interested in that, I hope you are. Go ahead and click the link that I'm leaving for you, so you'll be registered to receive notice when it's available to you, okay? All right, because your brain's destiny is in your hands.